Have you ever been so overwhelmed with moving where you start to realize that maybe you have a lot more things than you thought you did? Well, don't worry, I have a few tips that have helped me move the last few years. My name is Magali Morales, and this is my third year in college away from home. I have moved every single year I've been in college, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. Moving can be very stressful, but with proper preparation and organization, it doesn't have to be that way. That is why I have found that by making lists, packing with a plan, and creating organized and timed goals helps make sure everything gets packed and moved very easily. The first step is to make lists of everything. I personally use my reminders app. This is because when I get that random thought at the grocery store, I can easily put that into my phone right then and there before I forget it. I also like that I can create subtasks in my reminders, like here, which helps organize everything a little more specific. I start by creating two lists, the to-do lists and the packing list. For both lists, the process is fairly the same. I start by going room by room, writing down everything that needs to be cleaned, even the routine cleaning. This is because even though I will be routinely cleaning, eventually I will get to the day before move out day. And I personally would rather have everything already cleaned when I move out. That way, that's one less thing I have to worry about after moving in. Then I also add things that need to be done, such as patchwork and things of that nature, and list and categorize them by priority. When I get to the complicated things like the box of miscellaneous things, clothes, shoes, that's when I start to create my throw out, donate, and pack piles. From there, I have broken down packing a whole room into steps that I can track because I can visually see the list getting smaller and smaller. By doing this, it helps the packing stage become a lot more manageable and purposeful. Which brings me to my next step, the packing step. The packing step is the most stressful step at all of them because you're looking at everything you own at one glance. Once everything has been sorted, thrown out, and donated, you're now ready to pack. My biggest tip is that for anything that will be stored away after you move in, I would store it in some form of storage box. And I say this because then everything is all together. It would be out of the way because it wouldn't be needed right away or on a day-to-day basis. So if you're going to pack it, you might as well pack it in the storage bin it'll be stored in. With clothes, at least those that are hung up and will continue to be hung up after moving in, I wouldn't even take those off the hangers. I would take trash bags, put a pack of hangers together, take the bag and put it over the clothes, tie the hangers together with the straps of the bag, as I can show you right here. This helps transport, hang, and unhang lots of clothes at one time. Another packing tip I wish I would have known when I first moved out was to create an essentials box, a box with things that I'm gonna need day to day. So cleaning supplies, personal hygiene, these are all things that I would need on a day to day while I take my time unpacking. All these tips have made me have helped me move fairly easily and efficiently because not only did it make the packing process easy, but it did the same thing with the unpacking process, all due to time planning. Which would be the third and final tip, creating a schedule. By giving yourself a time frame for when things have to be finished, you're giving yourself realistic goals, meaning that little by little things are getting done and things aren't so stressful when you're on a time crunch. The reason I wouldn't call this step 3 is because this part can be done at any given point. Because personally, I tend to procrastinate, as stated before. So even if I plan things out, I somehow end up pushing things off to the very last minute. Because of this, my whole point is that even if you plan it out, sometimes things just don't align with what you have written down. So I tend to give myself that wiggle room to allow some sort of peace of mind for myself that I know that somewhere there's a plan written down. Like I stated in step 1, I categorize everything by priority. This means that things that need to get done first will be put on the schedule first, and you would move your way down until moving day. Some things may have deadlines. And for those things, you would check your mail and email just to make sure that all of your personal affairs are also in order during the entire moving process. The main thing to remember is that the longer you push off completing these tasks, the more you end up having to do by the deadlines. So yes, moving is very stressful, but by planning and organizing from start to finish, makes for a smoother process. By making lists, you ensure that everything gets packed, decluttered, and organized. When everything is organized and sorted, packing with a purpose allows for an easy transporting and unpacking process. And all of that can be done by deadlines you set for yourself whenever you were ready. That way, you can minimize a lot of the stress and anxiety that comes with moving. I hope you have learned a thing or two from me, as I have the last few years living here in Greensboro. Moving is such a bittersweet thing to experience, and I don't know about you, but I'd rather take sweet than bitter.